on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist?
Yo, 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 what's up, party people? Welcome back to another episode of What's on the Playlist, the show that spins through weddings, events, and everything that brings them to life. I'm Chris Romero,
I am Tony Pacheco.
And what's up, y'all? It's Victoria.
and today we've got another jam-packed episode where we break down our recent trip to Boston,
Ooh.
our most recent events, and a little something crazy that happened. So we're going to talk about that, which will also lead us into our topic of the day, which dives into what happens when the goes down during an event.
Yep.
But first, let's talk about our recent adventure into Beantown.
Yeah.
So the Cutmaster crew, we invaded Boston
Yep.
for a summer symposium that we go to yearly. This was Victoria's first time joining Tony and myself with our DJ Think Tank family. And so I think this was this both your first time in Boston as well?
Yes.
First time seeing the East Coast, like,
Yes.
I think, yeah. Louisiana, yeah.
Same here.
Cancun, no.
Never been that far
Yeah.
east
Yeah,
in my life.
Never didn't know that
Northeast.
Yeah.
didn't know the world went that
Yeah.
far.
You said
No,
it. When we looked
no.
at a map, you're like, oh my gosh, we are out here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I did not realize how
The,
far.
the furthest I've been is Texas.
Oh, wow.
Oh dang!
Yeah, so not very far at
So
all.
you
Cool.
did. You did
Every time we hit, it's always just like Texas, Colorado, Nevada, Cali,
Right,
and
yeah.
Arizona.
I feel
Like
that.
it's all just like
surrounding
Southwest.
areas.
yeah, surrounding where it's like if we need to drive, it's at least 12 hours, which isn't too bad driving or whatever the case is. But yeah, never that far
Yeah,
east.
you didn't know it could be that green, right?
No, I was
so
I was blown away out there. Like I truly was like, wow, this city is so freaking cool.
It was
Like,
cool.
It was a cool place.
What I liked about it, a little weird, but like I've been to cities that have big buildings, so I finally got over that. Because when I first went to like Denver, I was like, oh my gosh, this tall building is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Now what got me was like the birds flying through the tall buildings.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Through the city
Like
and
the
all
seagulls up there
Yeah.
flying around. Yeah.
Yep.
that. So that was really cool. Just kind of a weird, random thing to notice exclusively in Boston.
Yeah,
And the
definitely.
Really
thing
cool.
that gets me about that city, which I think is so cool, is you got like these. It's like a time warp, right? You've got
Yes.
these old buildings from the whatever 1800s,
Yeah.
like right in the middle of all these skyscrapers.
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely.
And I just think it's so cool. I'm like, imagine if we brought back like Paul Revere or Samuel Adams like right now
Yeah.
and took a to the Paul Revere house and it was like, check out your house now, and it's just like surrounded by all of this like
Yeah.
modern industrial stuff. So
Yeah, I was like mind blown because you just growing up, you forget about school and history, and then they're like, "Oh yeah,
Yes.
here's where the Boston Massacre happened." You're like, "Oh yeah, what?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
crazy!"
yeah,
you know, and like
exactly.
I just don't think about history too much, so that was
No,
a good
definitely.
reminder to see all that, and like there were places that had like the starting points of history preservation of buildings and things like
Mhm.
that. So like.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool to see, like, yeah, Paul Revere's, or no, what? No, it wasn't Paul Revere. It was Samuel Adams.
yeah, the
Yeah,
grave.
his grave. Yep.
That was cool. A lot of
Yeah.
good history there. Very cool.
I'm the same way. I'm not like
Yeah.
a big history buff or anything like that, but when I'm like in the middle of it, I just get wowed, almost like
Yeah.
starstruck by
yeah,
it.
Same here. Same here. That's how I was when we toured the city. I was just blown away by the history, like how far back everything went. And then too, like I guess I didn't realize like Boston was a lot of like first of everything.
Yeah.
First this, first that. So I was just like, wow, feels good to be in a city that's just so deep in American culture. It was really cool.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was fun. So we front loaded it with my family. We did a little family vacay before, so it was kind of cool. We went to the NBA Hall of Fame in Springfield. Hit up. We did a whale watching tour. Hit up a couple of Red Sox games, and actually, that's when you guys came in. Was on that second Red Sox
Yep.
Yep.
game with the Think Tank family. That's kind of how we kicked things off, right?
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about though what we did with the group. Of what we can talk about. There's some things that we hold pretty tight and dear to the group itself, but I think we can talk a little bit about our trip and some of the things that we did and learned while we were out there. So why don't you guys, being that it was your first time, Victoria, with the group, Tony, this was what, your third or fourth?
Fourth.
Fourth,
Yeah.
yeah, your fourth
Yeah.
think tank with us.
Yeah.
So maybe let's tell what were your kind of
I could kick
takeaways?
it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I was just like truly inspired. I've been in a room with incredible people that do incredible things within, the entertainment world was just, very nice. It felt for the first time like very welcoming when you get around a bunch of DJs, and I was just truly inspired by, the stories, how, certain people run their companies, and we came back and we were just fired up on what we wanted to do, us three, and for the company. And it was just one of those like very eye-opening moments. I talked a lot with a lot of the think tankers, and I was telling them like, coming out to Albuquerque, I didn't know DJ companies existed. And then going out to Boston, I didn't know,
The level
multi-million
there.
dollar DJ companies existed as well. And, all these people are just incredible in what they do. And like, that was always my biggest takeaway from the weekend was just, how tight-knit the group is, but how everyone has these incredible stories about how they got to where they are and what they do for their teams, and how everyone is just, very about their people, and it was very refreshing to see that. I know we got it here in Cutmaster, but seeing it outside with DJs and entertainers was very, very nice to see.
I think it is a cool thing and a special thing with that particular group. So this group, DJ Think Tank, consists of mostly business owners and kind of like they're close members of their team, and probably about 50 of us or so that are a part of this group from all over the country, actually all over the world. Glenn Mackay is from Australia,
Yeah.
and joined us. And so you're right. You're right. And I think when I first got into the group, that was one of the cool things. I think all of us at heart are DJs first.
Yeah.
And we all started off like just as a hobby, like DJing. We wanted to spin music, right? And then we grew, took next steps to create companies and grow those companies. And like a lot of these companies have gone in a lot of different directions. Some are now focusing in a lot of production and AV. Others do rentals and sales, and other people have gone into venues and even other complete different business models and stuff like that. So it's really cool, and it really is like, I think behind the name Think Tank, it's a almost like every time I get together with them, it's a master class of some sort, with all these
Exactly.
masterminds
Yes.
of business people, and that's really the cool thing. And so what I like about the group is, I don't know, I think all of us have heard somewhere along the line of, who are the 5 people that you hang out with the most, and I'll tell you, who your friends are
Yeah.
and what you're going to
Yeah.
be and how you are, right? And so that's the way I like to think of this group. It's like me having the opportunity to hang out with people that honestly, they're all I'm not the smartest person in that room. They're all better than me
Yeah.
at something, and I can learn something from them every single time I get together with them.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that was the best part. Like, that, like, especially for me, like, we could get to those levels, and kind of, it was just very inspiring, right?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
just learning different things, and, don't want to go into too much detail, but just things like that. It was
Definitely.
awesome.
I remember feeling that from my first think tank too, on like the inspiration and like the capability of like, okay, these guys are like well older than me, not crazy, but like they're in all these different kind of walks of life and different kind of timelines and all of that, and it was so exciting to be revamped and revitalized, and a lot of them have become friends now over these 4 years that I've been like going. We follow each other on socials, and so I love just talking with these people and like getting to meet them on a deeper level, and like really helping, like not only getting these little nuggets onto what to take back.
Yeah.
Like I got this awesome board game to play to learn like business finance. It's like a Monopoly times 1,000.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting on how like little things like that can like really help and really help
Definitely.
you grow and inspire to do all these different things. And what I like too is when you go and talk to these business leaders who are at these levels and you tell them what you're doing back home, they're also impressed by what you're doing.
Definitely.
They're like, dude, you're killing it.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and it's so and like inspiring that even though we may think we're just this little small town in Albuquerque compared
Yeah.
to them, they're like, no, this is
That's
actually
awesome.
pretty
Yeah,
sick
no,
what you're doing
definitely.
too, and and they recognize like that we're killing it in our area and all of that, and so always love going back. It's always a nice little revitalization and jumpstart, and so.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about maybe like takeaways from even what was your best takeaway from like some of the talks?
I'm not trying to. I like this one. This is a good one. It's called Ikigai. Have you guys ever heard of that? I mean, you have now.
Yeah,
You were
yes.
there, right?
Yes, I have.
Yes, we did.
I hadn't though until that
Jeez.
talk.
Yes.
So it basically refers to a person's purpose or reason of being, encompassing passion, mission, vocation, and profession, like what you like are what your meaning is.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're able to find something that intertwines the passion, the mission, vocation, and profession, this is not. I don't have my notes in front of me, but basically you're doing everything on all the right ways and all the right reasons. It was
Yeah.
like a big eye-opening moment. Like, oh wow, I'm actually in Ikigai pretty well right
well,
now.
yeah.
There's
yes.
there's a lot of things that I aspire to keep going for and grow for, but like
Mhm.
when you take a step back and really think about where you're at, it's kind of like, all right, we're doing pretty good right now, you know.
Yeah.
So that was a good takeaway.
Nice.
Definitely. I think my biggest takeaway was just, culture, what it means to us, what it means to yourself, how you present yourself, and how you create safe spaces for people. That was one of my biggest takeaways is just like, how do we create that? And not just in a company, just in the outside world, right? How do we create safe spaces at events for people of all kinds to come and enjoy themselves? And that was one of my biggest takeaways, like creating a culture that's safe, welcoming, and just inviting to anyone who wants to come and be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that was actually my favorite talk. That was
Yeah.
Jordan Chance gave a talk on culture to us, and it got the wheels spinning for me as well. I mean, it reminded me that I feel like we've got good culture here in our company, right?
Absolutely.
And doing a lot of things right. And it just, the biggest takeaway was, about culture being everything. And that's really been the forefront of when I formed this company. You always want to have the right people and you want to put the right people in the right spot. And that's a tough thing to do a lot of times as a business owner. Is trying to find the right people or thinking you have the right people, or sometimes you got to get rid of people that you thought were right, and sometimes it's addition by subtraction, right? So
Yeah.
I've gone through that over the years, where you've got to make tough decisions at times, but in order for your company to grow and go the right way, and then to have great culture, right, and just good
Yeah.
vibes like flowing um, throughout the company. You got to make sure that you've got the right people. So we've talked about that. We've taken that to heart actually, and
Yeah.
immediately put out. I mean, I've always been hiring. I think that's one of the things I learned at past, either I don't know, in the hallways or in think tank or at one of the conferences. Like always be hiring, right?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
the door is always open. Just like if the right people come into our life at Cutmaster, we try to bring them on
Exactly.
in some way, shape, or form. And so this just reminded me of that. And I put out that post, Cutmaster's hiring, and we've actually had a few people already respond to that. And we're
Yeah.
going through that right now and trying to still bring the right people in that want to do it, So yeah, I think you both kind of hit it on the head. Just that I always come out of think tank pretty inspired to
Yeah.
just it reinvigorates us and kickstarts
And
things.
it's nice the timing of it because it's right before like the fall
Exactly.
busy season.
Or
You know
a
what I
busy
mean?
season.
September,
Yeah.
October.
Definitely.
So that's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
like, all right, here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, what was your favorite activity that we did while we were out there?
Loved the improv.
Oh yeah, we
Okay,
did.
yeah, we did
We
do
went to
that.
it like it was kind of like a
I
class,
had a lot of
right?
fun, but
Yeah.
like I truly loved the improv. Like
Yeah,
that
the
was
improv.
good.
Yeah.
So we did an improv class where they broke us all up into different groups, and we worked on some different like kind of
Games.
games, improv exercises and stuff. That was fun.
They did a
Yeah.
good job at like teaching, like learning, or like creating learning experiences through the games and all of that. So I really
Exactly.
enjoyed like one was we had to start the beginning of a word and then have the end of the word.
Yeah.
So let's play around. Let's do this. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, I'm gonna try. This is impromptu, but I'm gonna say the beginning of it. We all played the game, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so here we go. I'm gonna try Chuck. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and then you go.
Buh.
Z.
Buzz.
Buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you say the word, right?
you go.
Exactly.
Splat.
Splash.
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 Or yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
idea is that one was like whoever can create the best word is awesome, right? But who does the credit go to? Does it go to the person who gave them is it the person who said the ending and created that word, or is it the person who set them up for success by the beginning of the word? So you have to realize you can't create awesome words without two people working together.
Exactly.
So you can't create awesome events without you working together with a planner, a photographer, all that, right? And I was
Right.
like,
Yeah.
oh, that's
yeah.
awesome, right?
Yeah.
So that was where I like nerded out that way, and just so much fun. It was a really fun place to let loose. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
good
I was
time.
gonna say like it was just very serious in what we were learning, but also unserious at the
Yeah.
same time. Like it was very playful and it was funny and everyone's
Exactly.
cracking jokes and laughing. So
Yeah.
that was cool. I think for me it was just like the duck boat thing.
Oh, yeah, the duck
That
boat
was
tour.
sick.
Yeah, the duck boat tour was so cool. Like,
Fun.
and especially for someone like I was saying earlier, like I didn't know much about Boston. Like I knew, some stuff from, obviously history, like Tony was
Sure.
saying, but just never really like understood like how historical that city was until
Yeah.
we did the duck boat tour, and I was like, whoa, like this is so cool to like
Yeah.
be learning about all this stuff. So I really really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the improv too. I think everything we did was just
Everything was
honestly
awesome.
incredible.
And that's what's
yeah,
cool about
it was
right?
so incredible.
That's what I love about that space.
And I liked that we walked everywhere. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of an activity within
Yeah.
itself. We were walking everywhere and just seeing the city, which was so cool too.
Props to the group. Michael Siegel was kind of heading it all. Our hotel number one, we stayed at the Langum, which is
Crazy.
downtown.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Super pricey. But then once we kind of got embedded into it after a day or two, you could kind of see why.
Why? Yeah.
We're drinking Saratoga water every day.
Every day,
You know what I mean?
yup.
That's the blue viral water, if anybody doesn't know.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean the lunch, we had lunch there every day at the hotel, phenomenal. Like the lobster rolls,
lobster
we had
rolls.
chowder,
Chowder.
lobster rolls.
Yep.
Good, man.
Yeah, I mean
Good
it was
stuff,
it was
yeah.
so good.
Yeah, it was not just your average hotel
No.
breakfast or lunch.
So,
it was on
I'm
point.
not kidding. Every time I walked back into my room, and this was maybe like 3 or 4 different times throughout the day, right? Because we had our conference stuff like going on, and then we had a little bit of break. Every time I went back, it was like cleaned and like all my stuff was like my wires were all rolled up
Yeah.
nicely and like
Yeah.
it was-
I was telling Tony that I went the first day, then they gave us our t-shirts. I had time during lunch and I was like, well, let me just go throw this on now.
Yeah.
And when I went up there, when I left, I had my pajamas on my makeup bag. I just kind of put them right there just to get them out of the way. Our maid folded my clothes for me and
Yeah.
like made it
Yeah.
like it was awesome.
That's
Like
nice.
the service was just out of the
What was
world. Like
Mind blowing was the curtains.
yeah.
How
yeah.
like it would be like night time. We would have to like let some light creep in because I would wake up disoriented at like 9
Yeah.
a.m. thinking it was 3 a.m. because
Yeah.
I'd be like, what? It's so dark in here.
Yeah.
But it was nice.
Yeah.
I loved all of it.
Yeah.
was awesome.
And me and Tony had some extracurricular. I took my iPad and a controller, so we were playing Fortnite when we had a chance, and
We're all just getting
we were
dubs in the
yeah
room.
we were just trying to have fun, and
It was
I
a good break.
it was,
Great break.
and I told him, it was cool. We roomed together, like kind
Right.
of just bonding outside of that, and like hanging out and walking around.
we found a club
we
on
found a club
Saturday
on
night.
Saturday night. Yeah,
That was cool.
Right.
The
and
basement.
the food hall too. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
fun. Like we kind of branched out a little bit, and it was fun. We had fun.
Just kind of explored the city
Yeah.
because we got in Saturday and then the baseball game was Sunday.
Right.
So we're like, well, we're in Boston.
Need to kill time on Saturday night, right?
There's- I was
Exactly.
like, we're in Boston. There's got to be something to do.
And
in
that
this
club
city.
was awesome.
was cool.
It was really cool.
Cheap
like
tickets, cool DJs on the rise.
and,
What
and
was the name of the club? Throw it out there.
basement.
The basement.
And it was really in a basement.
Oh yeah, underground.
I only had service in the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's it. Like it really gave underground, like all the piping was exposed, but whoever
lighting was done well.
whoever the lighting tech was, freaking killed it that night. Like the performers were fantastic. I loved all their remixes. I loved everything they did, but the lighting tech was really
On point.
pumping the energy in
That's
there.
when you know it's good if you're really noticing the lighting, like
Yeah.
more
Exactly.
so than the
You
music.
know what we did notice though too was the music being basically build drop, build drop, build drop. There was
Yep.
no break,
Yep.
no slow break. It was all fast, fast,
Mhm.
fast, 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 fast.
And everything was mostly everything was 2010s remix.
Yeah,
We noticed
a lot
that
of
too.
it was 2010 remixes.
A lot of Bobby Shmurda and a bunch of like that kind of like rap, but they remixed
Yeah,
a lot of that.
Stephanie.
Yep. Yep.
You know, I'm drawing a blank. What's her name?
Young Ma.
Young Ma.
Young
Thank
Ma,
you.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was cool. It was
Okay.
cool.
Cool spot.
Cool spot and cool to hear different DJs play. And I know for me, like most of the spots I'm at, it's all hip hop and R&B music, so it was cool to go over there and just hear nothing but house all
It's
night.
funny because that's
Yeah.
me. I will
Yeah.
find the house music.
And I
That's
love
fun.
that. Yeah, and I loved that because I mean I don't really go to much house shows. Like
Yeah.
anytime there is somebody that I want to see in Albuquerque, I'm usually booked.
Yeah.
So it was cool that we had that Saturday off and we found a club and it was popping.
I
It
am
was
so
fun.
pumped. Chris Lake is coming here on a Thursday.
I saw that.
We're going.
I'll be there
Yeah,
too.
it's-
I'm definitely going to that.
Chris
Yeah.
Lake's insane.
So speaking of DJs, I think one of my favorite activities that we did was when we went out and DJ Snacks played for us. So I'm gonna give him a little shout out if you want to go follow him. DJ Snacks is handle is Gimme Snacks,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's GIMMESNAX, something like that.
That's it.
So dude is unreal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy
Phenomenal.
good.
You
Phenomenal.
DJs, you want someone that does everything, wordplay, just like
He jumped around in like every era.
every
And
era.
genre,
yeah.
Genres. He popped through in and out of like literally oldies from like the 50s, 60s stuff mixing with, hip hop, new stuff,
And
dance.
you never knew where he was going. That was the coolest
Exactly.
part. And like there was moments where we'll set the scene just a little bit. It's a private space where we get to see this DJ perform. So it's a bunch of DJs in
Yeah.
a space watching him DJ do his thing.
and it was a like kind of boiler room.
Yeah,
Definitely.
boiler room
Yeah.
set. There was like maybe 60 of us in there. The funniest thing is everyone is just nerding out watching him. Arms crossed.
Dude is asking for like energy from us, like
Yeah,
literally.
yeah.
But everybody's just in awe.
It's complete awe, like genuine awe and like
Yes.
wow.
It was
you know what I
definitely
mean?
one of those moments. I was telling Todd and Cam, we were kind of laughing about it. I was like, I've never seen so many DJs just frozen in awe
Yeah.
at once. Like this guy was honestly like I came back so inspired from him as well. Like
Yeah.
I want to start
Doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and diving deeper into that more performative
Yeah.
type of DJing. It was so and he did it flawlessly. Like there was not a moment, as
Yeah.
us DJs, we can kind of hear stuff with our ear. To me, there was not a moment where I was like,
Never a hiccup.
oh, okay, no, I was completely blown away.
Yeah.
If you guys can, you should really, really follow Snacks. He's
I mean, check out
really
his
re-
Patreon
yeah,
if you're
yeah,
DJing.
he's
It's-
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool because it was boiler room. We were watching him from behind, and
Yes.
so to see him queue up things, but
Mhm.
then watch where he went with them.
Yeah.
It was like what? I
Yeah.
would have never thought of that. So
And everything what I appreciated about him, you could see that whatever he was playing was really like, how do I say it? Like he wasn't just playing an edit, he was actually making the edit live or
Yeah.
and that's what I appreciated. You could see him looping stuff. You could see him hitting different cue points for different things and I'm like, to be doing this live is like absolutely out of this world.
Yeah.
Because he could have just made everything an edit
Right.
and still impressed us, but he wouldn't have had to have worked as hard. So, and he puts that effort into every single set.
Yeah.
Like it's always, and there is certain things that, he was telling us, it is easier to kind of make certain things into an edit, but overall, not everything he played was already pre-made. He was actually making it live.
You could tell he had edits that he had pre-made, but then he set up cue points within those edits to do
Yep.
certain things like the wordplay
Yep.
or the
Exactly.
loops and stuff like that. So it was really cool.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Nice.
Great, great stuff.
Well, glad you guys had a good time.
Definitely.
It was cool to bring you both along. I
Love
think
Think Tank.
yeah,
Never misses. Ever since I've gone, I've always been mind blown, and it's just
Yeah.
such a good community of people, and that's one of my favorite things. Is you go up to like these people are on high levels, and you're meeting them on like a even playing field.
Yeah.
you know? It's
Absolutely.
the best part.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say
Open
too.
books.
Like everything obviously we, took in at education, but like having conversations with people while we're eating lunch or while we're walking to
Yeah.
our next event, like that was also very cool, and getting to know these people personally and about their lives outside of, what they do was also really really cool. And yeah, I feel like I made a lot of new friends out there, and it was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
awesome.
Good.
All right, so let's keep it rolling, and let's talk about our recent events that we've had. I'm going to start this because I'm going to be pretty easy and quick. I haven't had an event since beginning of July. My next one isn't until August. What is that, 8th or 9th, whatever that Saturday is, that weekend.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a wedding then, and then I don't have another one until the end of August. So I'm kind of a little on event hiatus right here and working on the business, which is actually what I
Yeah.
love,
Yeah.
having
Good.
this time
Gives you the
off,
time.
coming off a think tank. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
but I know you guys have had stuff.
Yeah,
so
and I'll start because he's got some good stuff.
Yeah,
to talk
Tony can
about.
transition
yeah,
us
he
into
can
a
transition.
topic.
Yeah, so I'll start. As soon as we got back, I had an event at Unhinged Brewery.
Nice. How did that?
So that's fun. I like their space. It's plug and play, and I really like the people
Good
that
spot.
are
Good beer.
there. Good spot, good vibes. I love working with the staff. They're very, we're all kind of younger, so it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
really cool. But yeah, that was fun. We do a night called Mood Swings,
Nice.
and they kind of let me take the night wherever I want. So a lot of different genres, like we'll play hip hop, we'll play R&B, then we'll go into house, then I'll play pop, and that's kind of like the gist of it. So we've been trying to get that event going. It was good. There was a great handful of people. So that was fun. And then I DJ'd at a new spot. It's next to Oak and Ivy in Nob Hill, and it's called the Rhythm Room,
Nice.
and that was fun.
Nice.
That was one of the nights where I wish I had my 360 cam
Ooh.
because I was on point this
because
night.
you were crushing it.
I was like,
Yeah, baby.
yeah, it was good. This was one of the nights where I was like, that was a really really good set. And it felt good to come off of Think Tank and go into a set like that.
Feel that.
So the whole gist of it is like called the 30 and up experience. So we're playing a lot of old school stuff,
2000s,
2000s, yeah, and it really allowed me to play a lot of like deep cut 2000s
Nice.
because I knew the people were gonna respond to it. So it wasn't just your average Ja Rule and Ashanti.
How long was the set?
My set was 4 hours.
Nice.
So
Deep cuts.
yeah, it was only supposed to be 3.5 or 3, I believe. But the night was crushing so much.
you
They were
go.
like, "Can you just keep going?" I'm like, and I wasn't ready to end either. Like
course.
I was having
That's
a great
awesome.
night. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really really cool. So I'm actually there again in August. But shout out to Six for booking me and really just kind of allowing me to do my thing that night. And it was one of those sets where you come off of it and you're like, "Whew, that was a
Feeling
good
good.
one." Yeah, that was a
Awesome.
good one. Yeah, so that's what I did. And then this past weekend it was my birthday, so went and celebrated.
Hey.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, went and
Oh,
celebrated
yeah.
with the family. Saw my grandma, hung out, which was really really nice. Kind of needed that. I hadn't seen my family in like over a month. Everything's just been so crazy and hectic, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was good. 28 years old, feeling good, and yeah,
You hear
that's
that,
what I
people?
did.
28.
Yeah.
God, making me feel all old over here.
Yeah.
Big
Sheesh.
28.
Dang.
That's funny.
Tony, what you got?
Let's see. So that Friday, I had a similar to what you're talking about. Like, so this is a church set that I do, but it's like 1,500 kids,
Yeah.
and they go crazy. So it's a really, really fun event that feels like a festival set, and it's about an hour and a half set, and you just basically gas up the high energy. It's really easy because you have to pre-approve all of the music beforehand.
Oh, cool.
So
Yeah, yeah. I remember you saying this.
yes,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just tell them, look, here.
Gotta give him Jesus vibes.
It's you can still play like Owl City and
Okay, fun.
but the
Yeah,
idea is
so
you're
it makes you think. Is you gotta these
but what
kinds
I'm
of things are
doing is
cool
I'm
'cause-
leveling this, or like I'll do like an Owl City mashup with Tiesto.
Mhm.
Just take out the bad words, but give them still the same
E-
music and the energy.
exactly.
And so basically, they're able to sing these songs and get this full blown like high energy
Yeah.
dance set. So I loved it because it was LED foam sticks, big beach balls, 1,200 kids. I was on a 10-foot stage with like three 10-foot LED panels and
Yeah, I was
stuff.
gonna say
Yeah.
the production looked great
Yeah,
on
you know,
that.
it's
So
church
Yeah.
production.
I reached
Yeah.
out. I asked Tony. I was like, "Who did the production on that?" He's like, "The church." I was like, yeah, "Of course." Like
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
these mega churches
Mega
have.
church, yeah.
Yeah, but it was really, really fun. That was a good set. Great
Nice.
one to come off of
Yeah.
off a think tank like that. And then I had a wedding the next day at La Posada. This is the crazy one, everybody. Get ready.
Get ready.
In my
Get ready,
11
people.
years of doing this has never happened to me, ever.
Yep.
I talked to the photographer who has been there. This has never happened to her. This, the team that I was working with was phenomenal in handling everything. So what happened was we have a great ceremony. Ceremony goes off without a hitch. It's a beautiful thing. They go take portraits. We're moving right along. It moves to cocktail hour. About 30 minutes in, they do a soft intro, no announcement, but the couple comes in to join the rest of the crowd for cocktail hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. It's awesome. Vibes are high. We get everybody seated. We go into a grand intro with just them. And then we go from grand intro directly into a welcome speech. Welcome speech is awesome. Let's party. Let's have fun. Enjoy dinner. So we're there. We're doing dinner. Everybody's having a good time. Then we notice the bride just step away for a second. And then
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
step away. You got to go to the bathroom, whatever. 10 minutes goes by. 15 minutes goes by, 20 minutes goes by, and we're like, where did they go? Because after 10 minutes, the groom had followed because he was wondering, where's she at?
Yeah.
So now 20 minutes have gone by. The bride and groom are missing. Dinner's happening, so it's fine. There's a little bit of a distraction, but you can hear like murmurs of like, where are they? Or
Right,
what's
like,
going
what's
on?
going
yeah,
on?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Seen him in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the planner comes to me and she goes, okay, so the bride is throwing up. She is really sick. And we don't know if she's going to come back right now. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. So we're right now, they're just focusing on getting her back good for right now. So they're like,
Yeah.
we're just trying to let her rest. We're going to let people finish their dinners out. We still got about 30 minutes left. So we're not going to try and stir up anything that doesn't need to be stirred. If we can get her back in 20 or 30, we'll be good.
Yeah.
So luckily, this was a low formality day. It was just first dance. It was just 2 toasts that will happen at dinner and then a first dance. And this is a unique space where it's 3 separate areas: ceremony section, dinner space. It's La Posada,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have another room for dancing.
Right.
And so the first dance, you got to move all these people in there and all that, right? So 8 o'clock rolls around, and we still haven't seen the bride or groom. She's still down bad. It's not looking good. She's not making progress. And so they finally tell me, okay, we're going to nix the toasts for now. We're going to try and get her back to something. We're just trying our best to get her back.
Right.
Yeah.
But now dinner's done. And guests are really like, what is going on? Where are they at? We need to it's the ultimate limbo because
Yeah.
guests can feel that. We talk about it
Exactly.
where we pay attention to those moments. And
Yeah.
now we're like, oh, where's the bride and groom and all that, right? Exactly. My heart. It's a nerve-wracking situation. But then the planner, this is Lisa and Bo, Brianna. Shout out Brianna. She did a fantastic job handling this whole situation because I've never seen it. What do you do? And she goes,
yeah.
okay, what you're going to do is you're going to move everybody into the open dance area and just get the party started right now. We need to get them entertained and make sure that they're distracted so they're not worried so much about the bride and groom. If they just sit around, they're going to be worried. And I said, all right, that works with me. I mean, just get the party going. No
Yeah.
formalities.
Yeah.
So we get them in there. And what happened was really unique was basically we jumped over your traditional September celebration, all that
Yep.
typical stuff,
Yeah.
because they wanted it. They wanted to have a good 20-30 for the older folks, and they wanted that to be felt. But then they wanted it to transition to really into those early 2010s,
Mm-hmm.
2000s. Your 303, Kesha, Cobra Starship was a fun one.
Nice.
The Veronica's Untouched was
Yeah,
a
you're saying
sleeper, I
that
was
one,
telling
yeah.
you. And all these really fun ones that were just from like 2010. And so we're having a great time, and we're just entertaining the crowd. And it was just such a unique experience because like I was like, we might go home early. If the bride and groom aren't there, a lot of times
Yeah,
they're
people,
out.
Yeah,
that's who
they're
they came
out.
to hang out with,
Yeah,
right?
But
that's
then
yeah.
I took it as a personal challenge.
Yeah.
Then
was like-
Tony took that personally.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? These people came to party. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to level up.
Yeah.
And basically, I just read them, right?
Yep.
You do what we do as DJs. We keep them on the crowd because I did start with a little bit of the older stuff, but then I noticed the younger crowd was there, and I fed them, and then it just kept going there and there and there, and then finally around like 9:30, the planner comes up and says, "Hey, we want to do the toasts. We think if you can bring the vibe, if we can get the music really low, change the vibe to an all amber, like really help us get the energy down,
Yeah.
we can just do the two dads saying their speech." Okay. So energy's high right now. We had just played, I don't even know, something crazy. And so now we have to get them to go back down and say, all right, everybody, like, please, we're going to get the bride back in the room. We need everybody to chill out, calm down for a few seconds so we can have our speeches. She does have a headache, so we ask that everybody just keeps their voices down, and instead of clapping, we're going to snap. And that helped, but booze was already a factor, and there were moments where it just kind of like, "Wah! Shh,
Yeah.
shh," you know?
Yeah.
But I thought it played out really, really well, and overall, like we created a moment out of that, and I talked to Brianna in that moment too. While the second dad was doing a speech, I said, "Do we want to do 20 seconds of the first dance? We have attention. The moment it's not a high energy moment." And she's like, "Let me ask." And so as like the toast ends, they're all clapping, hanging out. I have the first dance cued, and I got my eyes locked on the planner because she's right next to the couple, and she goes, "Yes," and I go, "Okay." And so, okay, I'd like to invite Abby and Patrick to the dance floor, and we're gonna do our first dance. And then it plays, very nice. They get off, and then I think this is a really funny story, honestly. So I thought, okay, now that they watched their couple do a first dance, let's invite everybody else for a nice soft dance so we can keep the energy kind of going, but the vibes are still very low.
Yeah.
She's still in the room. I don't want it to be crazy right away. So I play Can't Help Falling in Love, Elvis Presley. Great song to get those moments back and bring everybody back together.
Definitely.
And so I'm like, okay, well, I need to go into something high energy after this if we want to keep any kind of momentum, because honestly, the party was good.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing just fine, and if we didn't have that interruption, it was a beautiful moment, and that's what we do is in all that chaos, they're going to remember that and think of what a beautiful day it was. So I don't really care, but the DJ brain goes, okay, we lost momentum. How do we get momentum back? Like,
Definitely.
we're still
Yeah.
here for another hour and a half if they really want to go till 11. So I saw it on TikTok and I was like, I've got it. It just snapped in my brain. Can't help falling in love with you, Soldier Boy, tell him, right? And so
Yeah.
I had that cued, but I see her here and I'm like, she needs to leave this room or I can't do this. I'm going to,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, please go. And I'm like watching her just slowly inch out. And finally, as she exits, the timing is the most beautiful thing. They look at me like I'm so cool because of the timing and the wordplay
Yep.
and all that. And then it went into just a really fun night for the rest of the night.
Cool.
And it worked out really, really well. I got an incredible compliment from the parents at the end of the night talking about how grateful they were for everything under the circumstances and all that. And
Definitely.
so when you reflect on those moments, you're like, that's what we do is we create those moments as well as badass DJing, right? Like
Yeah.
we think about those little things. So.
Definitely. Yeah.
It was a crazy, crazy thing.
And I give you props being able to pivot in a situation that you're obviously not anticipating, having to bring the energy here and then back down and then back up again. That's a hard thing to do. And I think that just goes to, all our couples out there, hiring the right people. God forbid you don't want to anticipate anything bad happening, but also knowing that you got the right people that are going to be able to pivot if necessary, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so and let's dive into this a little bit
Yeah.
more. So this is the topic. What do you do when the goes down? All right.
yep.
So let's break this down a little bit. And I think you actually did break it down as to what you did.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of great things here. I think first and foremost, you got to stay calm. You got to be professional. And I think
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
you're talking
Yep,
about,
exactly.
right?
Yep,
Like
absolutely.
making sure when you hire professionals, we always find a way.
Yep.
We always find a way, whether gear breaks down, whether a curveball gets thrown your way.
You got to make it work.
You got to
Yeah.
find a way to make it work. All right. So
Yep.
I think you really showed the importance of not panicking. Actually, you and
Brianna.
Brianna, not panicking and not reacting emotionally. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And vendors, take cues from each other. You being calm is contagious. So
Yes.
her being calm probably made you feel calm.
Yeah.
You were able to think with a clear mind and get a game plan moving forward, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And being able to communicate with each other
Yeah.
like is huge.
It's helpful.
Exactly.
I-
Yeah. And that coming up with a plan and collaborating together in those moments, she's the planner. I'm sure she had a lot going through her mind, but it probably made her feel at ease knowing that she had someone like you that was also able to handle
Yeah.
the situation.
Right.
She says, okay, yes, they want to do first dance. You already got it queued up, right?
Yeah.
There's no moments
cool.
of where you're like, oh, wait,
Yeah.
and that too speaks volumes of your professionalism on how you handled that moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, you killed it with that.
Tried, man. You just do what you want.
Yeah.
This is the biggest day of their life, and you want to deliver because, I was so excited for this
Yep.
wedding too, like because of the music. Like,
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
meet with them, you talk about the music
Yeah.
beforehand, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be sick. Like,
And
it's
I,
gonna be a fun one.
I don't want to throw anybody under the bus or anything or sound like, I'm a hater DJ, but also I feel like there's a lot of DJs. Once the bride and groom left, they would have done anything and everything to kill that night so they could have gone home early.
Yeah.
They're like, bride and groom left. Well, party's over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna DJ like crap, and
Right, I'm gonna kill the vibe.
I'm gonna kill the
we'll end
vibe,
this
and we'll
night
get out of
early.
here. Yeah, there's a lot of
Never wanna
people.
do that.
Yes, you
Never
never,
wanna
you never want to do that, and I think that just speaks volumes as to what we do here. We want to keep it going. You had a crowd, regardless.
Yeah, right.
Parents
so you read
are-
them, whatever
yeah,
they are.
you
You
read
read the
'em.
demo and go for it.
We talked about
Exactly.
it afterward when you first told me the story, and you were like, you know what? Like, you want everybody to feel great leaving that event in
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form, right? And for them, we always want people to talk about
Mhm.
our events for all the right reasons. And so I think you had mentioned something that I thought was really impactful. That you know what, bride and groom, probably. It might be even a day that they don't ever want to remember, right? Like,
Yep.
just because of like they didn't get to experience it in the way that they probably always dreamed of.
Yeah.
But everybody from that event that was there is going to talk about how great of a time they had at their wedding, right?
Yep.
That's good. And
Yep.
that's
Yeah, that's
what
Absolutely.
you want. I feel like a lot of people when having a wedding,
Yes.
they want that.
how do you make the
reciprocated.
best out of the situation, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, which leads me to number 2. Adapt. Don't freeze. Like the timeline is just a guide. It's not the gospel.
Yeah.
So you guys
Yeah.
being able
Yes.
to be flexible, right? And
Yes.
kind of let things happen. You didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know when they were going to come back.
Mhm.
And then you realized at a certain point in time, right? Like, okay, you could feel it. Like people are looking to, like, we got to do something.
Yeah.
Something's
Body
gotta
language, you just hear it, and you just feel
Exactly.
the energy of like,
Yeah.
okay, we need to do something. If we just leave them here, people are gonna get frustrated.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I think making the call to bring them in,
Yeah.
get the
Yeah.
dancing started, and then just let things happen as they were able to come back and join. They did what they could. They got the things in that they could, that she was able to, and actually got to enjoy
Yeah.
a little bit of her reception, right?
Yeah.
And I like that word you used, flexibility. I used that word on Tuesday when I met with a couple. It was me and the couple, and then Carrie. She's the planner for the event, and it's weird when I use that word. I said, me as a person, I'm very easygoing. I said, and me as a DJ, I'm very flexible. I said, so whatever you two need help on, or if we need to make any changes, we can absolutely do that. Like you said, the timeline or the timeline in music is not the gospel. We can change and rearrange and whatever feels good from them. And you could see it on their face, like a huge sense of relief that their
Yeah.
DJ that they're looking into is saying that to them. It was interesting. Now that you say that, when we
Yeah.
throw out the word flexibility, I just instantly saw like a weight off their shoulders. Like,
Yeah.
okay, because I absolutely loved them and I'm so excited to work with them. But they a lot of questions I was asking was starting to spark, that the wills to start thinking about certain stuff. And I think them hearing that I'm flexible was like, okay, because, they didn't really have answers to a lot of questions. They hadn't thought that far yet or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
That's good.
it
It
was
helps you
cool.
look like you're the professional. I love it when
Exactly.
they're like, ooh, that's a good
That's a
question.
good
I never
question.
thought
Yeah,
of that.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so
Okay.
it was cool. But I love that,
Yeah.
being flexible with the people that we're working with is a
Yeah.
huge thing.
We talk about it a lot. DJ ego. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my way is the right way.
My way or the highway.
Yeah,
right?
trust
Exactly.
me, I've been doing this a long time. I know how
Yep.
this is supposed to go and all that. And it's wedding days don't run like that. There's always something. A lot of times it's just a little.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just moving this to 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But you got to be able to handle.
So I
whatever.
want to tell a story,
Let's hear it,
and
yes.
I'm sure Taylor won't mind me telling the story. We're not going to use names or anything, but
Nice.
this story came from Lace and Bow.
Nice.
When we were sitting around eating at another wedding,
Okay.
and she had worked with a specific company out here in Albuquerque, and there was slight changes that needed to be made in the timeline. And she went and talked to this certain company about what needed to be changed because things just weren't working.
Yeah.
And they were literally arguing with her on why they are not going to do that. And it kind of turned into kind of a back and forth. Well, she told us that they finally said, okay, I'll do it, but got on the mic and said,
It wasn't them.
any changes that are being made are not on me. This came from so and so
Dang.
at the wedding, at a wedding, and I'm just like,
Threw them under the bus.
what? Like
Crazy.
that is crazy. Like I even feel like anything that me and our planners communicate should never be
It's all behind
announced.
the scenes.
It's all behind the scenes. Like so to kind of do that, was just I was like, what? And then that's people within our industry here in Albuquerque, within our
Sure.
markets. Like
Yeah.
those are the kind of people that, people are really booking and then having to kind of learn the hard way about their flexibility. They're not flexible. The plan is the plan, point blank, period. And I mean, I think that just is what happens sometimes when, like I know all three of us, we have the knowledge to shift or turn or go left or right, whatever it is. And I know some don't because they just, well, this is what you said. That's it. I only prepped for this.
Well, and
Yeah.
some people
know?
are comfortable with being comfortable
Exactly.
and aren't comfortable getting uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
And-
Exactly.
and which actually brings us to number 3 here, which is know when to stall, know when to pivot.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. If it's a short-term hiccup, like someone fainting or getting sick or something like that, you can find ways to stall, right? With dinner music or a toast or a group photo, things like whatever, right? Like
Absolutely.
we've got experience to come up with ways. Like even like a good example is for the photographers, they need to go take their sunset pics.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Exactly.
the toasts are supposed to happen right now at this time. Well, we can't-
Sunset ain't moving.
Yeah, the sun's gonna set. Like, go
Yeah.
take your pics. I'll hold down the fort in here. I'll play some,
Exactly.
some music and just keep the vibes
Exactly.
going.
Exactly.
And
It's a
and
very
when you're
common one.
done, when it's dark, come on back,
Yep.
right? Like, and we'll keep doing stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we want to stick to the plan and make sure we're hitting
of
those
course,
marks.
right?
But come on, Stuff happens.
Yeah,
We can't.
I always say it's more of a guideline than a timeline.
Right.
Yes, that's a yeah.
No,
great,
you know,
great way to
if-
explain it.
If
Yeah.
bride and groom, like in your case, are out for the count, you know, you got to shift to the guest enjoyment, and
Yeah.
that's what you did. Like,
All
we're
right.
here to celebrate.
Throw a
Let's
party.
Yeah.
we'll give them the recap, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It was fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
okay, number
Party.
4, have a DJ emergency kit. All right, and this is actually kit. Not even a. This is I'm making it about DJs, but photographers, planners, everybody, right?
Yeah.
Have an emergency kit, both mentally and for us musically, right? So maybe we've got a playlist ready to go, a mix, a pre-made mix, for whatever reasons. You know,
Bathroom break.
Absolutely.
break.
That's where my premates.
what if something happens? What if somebody accidentally drops a drink on your?
Yes.
you know?
So yeah, somebody drops a. I'll pull up a mix on my
Ex-
phone and plug in, and that's an absolute.
Have your phone,
Oh, my-
iPad, have something plugged in,
Some-
ready to go into your mixer that you can just
I can
automatically
still do it if I lose it all. Yeah,
right.
you're
Or
right.
it
Yep.
buys me time to like go grab my second controller, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
hook it in
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So you got to know how to shift the vibe on a dime. You know, for us, music can
Music.
redirect attention like faster than anything. So we use music. That's a tool for us to
Absolutely.
be able to pivot and shift.
And the
directions.
MC work too. You're communicating to the guests what is going on in those moments.
Yeah.
You know, our bride isn't feeling good, but she's coming back in. We're gonna bring the vibe down.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you said with the snapping, like just great ways of, you know, being able to just make it work for what it is.
Yeah.
That's number 5. Communication's everything.
Yep.
All right. You and Brianna, the planner, spoke to each other. You were communicating. I'm sure you were communicating with others of what, you know, maybe the venue team, you know, of what
Yep.
was happening, what was going on. We need this to happen, that to happen, and just get everybody on the same page, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was helpful to know that, like, I've worked with everybody, and it's nice to know when you have veterans and you know the team, because then you feel a lot more confident in the decisions and everything going forward with that. But yeah, I was very proud of what we were able to pull off and handle all that, because
hmm
it's such an important day, and you don't want it to be bad, you know.
Well, and that's what you did. You kept the couple in mind, but you protected the experience for the guests
Yeah.
as well, right?
Absolutely.
So, kudos. And, you know, shout out to the teams that have stepped up during these
Yeah.
uh-oh moments, right?
Yep.
You know, those of you that have gone through it and still made the party happen, made the experience happen to the best of your ability. I know sometimes things don't work out right. Sometimes maybe the night does have to end early for whatever reason. I know I've had the closest experience to that for me, I guess. Like I remember a grandparent falling or
Yep.
collapsing and having to get, you know, an ambulance,
Yeah.
a rescue out of the venue.
That's hard.
You know, that event still went on, and actually, I'm not even sure they let the bride and groom. I don't remember whose side it was so long ago. I don't even think they let them know. I think it was a judgment call by the family that they
Oh, wow.
they were like, we're not telling them anything. We're just letting you know what happened.
Brunch tomorrow. Oh, by the
Yeah.
way,
I know, by the
Grandpa
way.
took one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, oh man, whoops.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good call. I think there's a very few rare occasions where, like, if you see them actively having a blast and Grandpa is taken care of, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? It's not
Mhm.
like life or death. Then
Right.
we'll tell them tomorrow.
So let's kind of finish this up here. We can
Okay.
wrap this up. I think all this was great. Let's talk about give a little bonus content here. What are some things you should not do? You know, when the hits the fan.
Panic.
Panic. Yeah. You said that earlier.
Become frustrated. I don't think you need to put blame on anybody. Try your best to keep your cool,
Mm-hmm.
because it's usually never your fault, at least on the DJ side. Maybe I don't know, I've never had an instance like that, but I'd say, yeah, be patient, try not to be frustrated.
Yeah.
Right. I would say too, which it seems like you did a really good job of, is to not express like kind of publicly or like to
Yes,
the
you
guests
gotta
that like
keep that cool
like
head.
that this has never happened before. I don't know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
we're not doing that, right? Like you've gotta have that professional,
Yep.
just like, okay, bring it on. Like we're gonna handle this.
Yeah,
like we're dealing with
and,
it.
like,
we're
no,
moving
we're
forward.
all good over
Right.
here, you know what I mean?
You gotta have
Exactly.
confidence,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You know what you're doing.
It helps everybody else feel a lot more confident.
That's what I was
too.
gonna say. You know, even I know Brianna can crush and kill, but it probably felt good for her too, where you're not panicking
Yeah.
or you're not,
Yeah.
it just that, like, not panicking, and then you guys having that clear line of communication.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that I feel like that was also very, very important for you guys to just have that clear point of communication,
Yeah.
and neither of you panicked, right? You
Yeah.
just
Well,
did what you could,
You
and
do a good job with
yeah.
You
with all that.
you can't assume that everyone knows what's happening. So
Exactly.
you got to
Yes.
communicate clearly.
So
And
don't assume.
that was with it, right, with the guests as
Communicate.
well, right? Like the guests don't know what's happening, but you were
Yep.
communicating with them as to what we're
Yes.
going to do and
Letting
what's
them know what's happening, and then just helping them understand like what is happening throughout the night, and that we're still here to have a good time and celebrate, but not like, I don't know, cheese it up.
right.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So anything else you can think of that
Let's
you
see.
probably shouldn't do?
When it hits the fan, you
I think you got again going back to flexibility. You know,
Yeah.
you should not be non-flexible.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's that? Rigid, stiff.
Yeah.
The
don't-
opposite of
yeah,
flexibility.
Don't be stiff.
Yeah, don't be a stiff man. Like
and
Yeah.
be
Don't-
flexible. Allow yourself to go with the flow, make the changes, maybe make some judgment calls. Sometimes you got to make a hard call,
Yeah.
and we are
Yeah, yeah.
pivoting. We are going this direction. Obviously after communicating with your
Yeah.
team, right, and planners and things like that. But sometimes you got to make it's sometimes so like an example. We've got rain. I can see it coming in. If this does not start within 5 minutes, we have to make the call. We've got to go inside.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's happening.
Or
Else,
you're not getting
or
audio.
you're not
Yeah.
getting any audio. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to play any music because
Yes.
gonna rain,
Yes,
right?
gonna
It's
rain.
the worst.
Yep. Absolutely.
But you have to be that person to make that call.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
That's a hard
Yep.
call to make.
yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, I'd say that's it. Don't not have an emergency kit. Have backups, backup cables, backup hard
Yeah.
drives, backup cloud drives. Like you never think it's gonna happen.
I think
until an
that's a great
emergency happens.
thing of being a part of this team and being a part of a team. Whether it's
Yep.
I know a lot of people, and especially in our industry, we have a lot of single ops out there. No props to everybody. We all started off that way, but the benefit of having a team is that if something does happen to me on game day, chances are good I've got somebody I can call up to step in
Oh yeah.
and still make the event happen, right? Or
Yeah.
any of us can call and
Yeah.
rely on somebody to
Yeah.
to probably take over and at least get you through the night. God forbid something just crazy happens, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
all right, final thoughts here. Every event probably has a curveball of some sort, right?
Oh yeah.
The pros
Absolutely.
are the ones who've never seen one. It's the ones who handle it with grace, style, maybe even a little bit of humor in there, but are the ones that can still get you to the finish line, right? And
Yep.
make an event successful. So
Exactly.
shouts to all of you out there doing it. Shouts to Tony for
Yep,
doing it.
killed it.
Crushing it.
Yeah.
You
know.
guys are crushing your events too. So
And that's going to do it for us this week, you guys. We'll do it
Yep.
again next week.
Bye guys.
later.
See ya.
What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist, baby?